Jesus said to him, "Most certainly I tell you, that you today, even this night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." Mark chapter 14 verse 30. Hi fam, Jesus is the reason for the Christmas season. Welcome to our Mark Christmas special, where we read the Gospel of Mark, 1 chapter an episode. Today, we are reading Mark chapter 14 and reflecting on it. Check out the previous episodes. Even if you are catching this episode days, weeks, months, even years later, the Word of God is ever fresh, and I encourage you to listen. I will be reading from the World English Bible, but feel free to follow along in whatever accredited Bible version you prefer. The World English Bible sometimes refers to God as Yahweh. Mark chapter 14. It was now 2 days before the feast of the Passover and the unleavened bread, and the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might seize him by deception and kill him. For they said, "Not during the feast, because there might be a riot among the people." While he was at Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came having an alabaster jar of ointment of pure nard, very costly. She broke the jar and poured it over his head. But there were some who were indignant among themselves, saying, "Why has this ointment been wasted? For this might have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor." So they grumbled against her. But Jesus said, "Leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a good work for me. For you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want to, you can do them good. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand before the burying. Most certainly I tell you, whenever this good news may be preached throughout the whole world, that which this woman has done will also be spoken of for a memorial for her." Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12, went away to the chief priests that he might deliver him to them. They, when they heard it, were glad and promised to give him money. He sought how he might conveniently deliver him. On the first day of unleavened bread, when they sacrificed the Passover, his disciples asked him, "Where do you want us to go and prepare that you may eat the Passover?" He sent 2 of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the city, and there a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him, and wherever he enters in, tell the master of the house, 'The teacher says, where is the guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will himself show you a large upper room, furnished and ready. Get ready for us there." His disciples went out and came into the city and found things as he had said to them, and they prepared the Passover. When it was evening, he came with the 12. As they sat and were eating, Jesus said, "Most certainly I tell you, one of you will betray me, he who eats with me." They began to be sorrowful and to ask one by one, "Surely not I?" And another said, "Surely not I?" He answered them, "It is one of the 12, he who dips with me in the dish. For the Son of Man goes, even as it is written about him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would be better for that man if he had not been born." As they were eating, Jesus took the bread, and when he had blessed, he broke it and gave to them, and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." He took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave to them. They all drank of it. He said to them, "This is my blood of the new covenant, which is poured out for many. Most certainly I tell you, I will no more drink of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it anew in God's kingdom." When they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Jesus said to them, All of you will be made to stumble because of me tonight, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. Zechariah 13:7. However, after I am raised up, I will go before you into Galilee. But Peter said to him, Although all will be offended, yet I will not. Jesus said to him, Most certainly I tell you, that you today, even this night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. But he spoke all the more, If I must die with you, I will not deny you. They all said the same thing. They came to a place which was named Gethsemane. He said to his disciples, Sit here while I pray. He took with him Peter, James, and John, and began to be greatly troubled and distressed. He said to them, My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. Stay here and watch. He went forward a little, and fell on the ground, and prayed that, if it were possible, the hour might pass away from him. He said, Abba, Father, all things are possible to you. Please remove this cup from me. However, not what I desire, but what you desire. He came and found them sleeping, and said to Peter, Simon, are you sleeping? Couldn't you watch 1 hour? Watch and pray, that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Again he went away and prayed, saying the same words. Again he returned, and found them sleeping, for their eyes were very heavy, and they didn't know what to answer him. He came the 3rd time, and said to them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. It is enough, the hour has come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Arise, let's get going. Behold, he who betrays me is at hand. Immediately, while he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a multitude with swords and clubs, from the chief priests, the scribes, and the elders. Now he who betrayed him had given them a sign, saying, Whomever I kiss, that is he. Seize him, and lead him away safely. When he had come, immediately he came to him and said, Rabbi, Rabbi, and kissed him. They laid their hands on him and seized him. But a certain one of those who stood by drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Jesus answered them, Have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to seize me? I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and you didn't arrest me. But this is so that the scriptures might be fulfilled. They all left him and fled. A certain young man followed him, having a linen cloth thrown around himself over his naked body. The young men grabbed him, but he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. They led Jesus away to the high priest. All the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes came together with him. Peter had followed him from a distance until he came into the court of the high priest. He was sitting with the officers and warming himself in the light of the fire. Now the chief priests and the whole council sought witness against Jesus to put him to death, and found none. For many gave false testimony against him, and their testimony didn't agree with each other. Some stood up and gave false testimony against him, saying, We heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and in 3 days I will build another made without hands. Even so, their testimony didn't agree. The high priest stood up in the middle and asked Jesus, Have you no answer? What is it which these testify against you? But he stayed quiet and answered nothing. Again, the high priest asked him, Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed? Jesus said, I am. You will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of the sky." The high priest tore his clothes and said, "What further need have we of witnesses? You have heard the blasphemy. What do you think?" They all condemned him to be worthy of death. Some began to spit on him and to cover his face and to beat him with fists and to tell him, "Prophesy." The officers struck him with the palms of their hands. As Peter was in the courtyard below, one of the maids of the high priests came, and seeing Peter warming himself, she looked at him and said, "You were also with the Nazarene Jesus." But he denied it, saying, "I neither know nor understand what you are saying." He went out on the porch, and the rooster crowed. The maid saw him and began again to tell those who stood by, "This is one of them." But he again denied it. After a little while again, those who stood by said to Peter, "You truly are one of them, for you are a Galilean, and your speech shows it." But he began to curse and to swear, "I don't know this man of whom you speak." The rooster crowed the second time. Peter remembered the word, how that Jesus said to him, "Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." When he thought about that, he wept. Let's explore Mark chapter 14 and some of the things we can learn, shall we? 1. The betrayal. Events leading to Jesus' betrayal by Judas. The events leading to Jesus' betrayal by Judas paints a complex picture of human nature, loyalty, and betrayal. In Mark chapter 14, the stage is set for the ultimate act of treachery, as Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus' disciples, agrees to betray him for 30 pieces of silver. This pivotal moment of history underscores the power of greed and the fragility of human relationships. However, it also serves as a reminder that even those closest to us may succumb to temptation and make choices that defy understanding. Furthermore, the unfolding narrative sheds light on the clash between divine will and human frailty. While Jesus acknowledges his impending fate with a heavy heart in the Garden of Gethsemane, Judas makes his fateful decision under the influence of darkness and self-interest. As we reflect on these events, we are prompted to examine our own capacity for both faithfulness and disloyalty in our relationships with others and with God. The tale of betrayal serves as a sobering reminder that even amidst great love and devotion, there exists the potential for deception and unfaithfulness to disrupt our lives. 2. The Last Supper. Meaning and significance of the Last Supper. The Last Supper holds profound meaning and significance in Christian theology, symbolizing the sacrificial love of Jesus Christ for humanity. As Jesus shared bread and wine with his disciples, he established the ritual of communication, representing his body and blood given for the redemption of sin. This act became a central aspect of Christian worship, fostering a sense of fellowship and remembrance of Christ's ultimate sacrifice. Moreover, the Last Supper foreshadowed the events leading to Jesus' crucifixion, highlighting his willingness to endure suffering for the salvation of mankind. The gathering also emphasized the importance of humility and servanthood through Jesus washing the feet of his disciples, offering a powerful example for believers to emulate. Ultimately, this pivotal moment in biblical history serves as a timeless reminder of selfless love, spiritual communion, and redemptive grace that resonates deeply within Christian faith. 3. Gethsemane. Jesus' prayer and disciples' sleep. The scene in Mark chapter 14, where Jesus prays in the Garden of Gethsemane while his disciples sleep, is a poignant moment that reveals the humanity and divinity of Jesus. As he fervently prays to God, asking for strength and expressing his agony, the disciples are unable to stay awake, despite Jesus asking them to keep watch. This contrast highlights the vulnerability of Jesus as he faces the weight of his impending crucifixion alone, while also showing the struggle of human frailty. Rather than painting the disciples as negligent or disrespectful, this passage invites us to consider their humanity and limitations. It reflects our own struggles with spiritual wakefulness and attentiveness in times of challenge or despair. Additionally, it serves as a reminder that even those closest to Jesus may falter in moments of trial, offering a message of compassion and understanding for our own shortcomings. Ultimately, this episode deepens our understanding of both the disciples' imperfection and Christ's unwavering commitment to fulfill his divine purpose. 4. Peter's denial of Jesus, predicted and fulfilled. In Mark chapter 14, we witness a prophecy fulfilled as Jesus predicts Peter's denial of him. This powerful moment highlights the complexities of human weakness and the struggle between faith and doubt. Despite Peter's courageous declaration of loyalty, his denial serves as a reminder of our own vulnerability and tendency to falter when faced with fear or uncertainty. Furthermore, this episode presents an opportunity for introspection, prompting us to consider moments in our lives where we may have denied our beliefs or values due to external pressures or self-doubt. As we delve into Peter's emotional turmoil and subsequent regret, we are reminded of the transformative power of forgiveness and redemption, a crucial message that resonates deeply with all those who seek spiritual growth and restoration. This narrative serves as a pivotal point in Mark's Gospel, underscoring the complexity of human nature and affirming Jesus' unwavering love for us, despite our shortcomings. It invites us to reflect on our own capacity for resilience in the face of adversity, while inspiring hope for reconciliation and renewed strength in our faith journey. 5. Trial and mockery. Jesus before the religious leaders and Pilate. In the encounter of Jesus before the religious leaders and Pilate, we witness a powerful depiction of injustice and manipulation. The religious leaders, driven by fear and envy, manipulated false testimonies to bring about Jesus' condemnation. It highlights the corruptive nature of power and authority when motivated by self-interest rather than righteousness. Additionally, Jesus' silence in the face of false accusations stands as a powerful testament to his unwavering commitment to fulfill his divine purpose. As Pilate questioned Jesus about his kingship, we are presented with a profound contrast between earthly and heavenly kingdoms. While Pilate sought to assert his authority through coercion and manipulation, Jesus stood as a symbol of divine sovereignty, governed by love and sacrifice. This interaction challenges us to reconsider our understanding of power and leadership, urging us to align ourselves with the values of God's kingdom rather than conforming to the flawed systems of this world. 6. Reflections on the deeper spiritual meanings. As we delve into the deeper spiritual meanings within Mark chapter 14, we are drawn to the powerful theme of sacrifice and surrender. The narrative of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane invites us to ponder the concept of submitting our will to a higher purpose, even when it involves great suffering. It challenges us to reflect on our own capacity for selflessness and total reliance on divine guidance, bringing forth questions about our willingness to embrace hardships for the greater good. Moreover, amidst the betrayal by Judas Iscariot and Peter's denial of Jesus, we encounter profound lessons on forgiveness and human frailty. This prompts contemplation on our own vulnerabilities and tendencies to fall short in times of adversity. It calls us to recognize that these moments serve as opportunities for growth and transformation, fostering empathy towards others who also grapple with their shortcomings. In this reflection lies an invitation for introspection, urging us to consider how we can navigate their relationships with compassion and understanding in light of our imperfections. We will continue from Mark chapter 15 in the next episode. God bless you. Bye.